Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Friday, April the 20th, and welcome to our video commentary. Well, today we're going to talk about one of the biggest lies that is being promoted, and that's the idea that there was a change in Cuba. There was no change in Cuba. So let's talk about that today. Now, just to be factual and to be honest, it is historic, as they like to say, that the new official president of Cuba, and I underline official president of Cuba, is a guy who's not named Castro. So Miguel Díaz-Canel is now officially the president of Cuba. He has the title president on his business card. Okay? So yes, that is historic if you want to just look at it that way. It is also true that there's a generational change given the fact that Miguel Díaz-Canel, the new official president of Cuba, was born, I guess, in 1963 or 1962, so he was born after what they like to call the revolution. But that's where the change stops. There is no change after that. The fact is that Miguel Díaz-Canel was personally selected by Raúl Castro to be the president of Cuba. Now, they're going to tell you that there was a vote in the assembly. The assembly in Cuba is a one-party state that rubber stamps anything that Raúl Castro does. So if Raúl Castro says, today is Thursday, they will rubber stamp that. If he says, this is the new president of Cuba, they will rubber stamp that. So all of these people who seem to be in love with this idea that there's a change in Cuba, they don't seem to understand that there was no change in Cuba. There was no change. The man running Cuba right now, the fellow with the business card with the title president of Cuba, was officially selected by Raúl Castro to be the president of Cuba and rubber stamped by a one-party assembly. It's just very important. This is a one-party assembly, and that's who decided to make this man the new president of Cuba. So there's no change, absolutely no change. There was no multi-party election in Cuba. There was no election in Cuba. The people of Cuba did not choose their new president. That's the bottom line. This is nothing more than an extension of Raúl Castro so that Raúl Castro can somehow tell the world that, look, we're changing. We are now, we're changing. The island is no longer run by the Castros. The reality is that did not happen. The island is still run by the Castro family, and the Castro family is still running all the businesses in what they like to call Castro Inc., which is nothing more than the marketing and business agencies that participate in investments in Cuba. So change? No, there was no change. Do we have a new president? Yes, we have a new man. There's a new guy with a business card that says President of Cuba. Was this guy elected by the Cuban people? No. Did the Cuban people participate in some kind of a referendum to make him president? No, not at all. So please don't tell me that there was a change in Cuba, because there wasn't. And I think that all of the people who are so excited, who want to make Raúl Castro into this great reformer, frankly, these people are smoking something they shouldn't be smoking. Now, to be honest, the new president of Cuba, Miguel Díaz-Canel, is going to be facing some very difficult challenges. Challenge number one is that the people of Cuba want change. They just don't want a new guy with a new business card. They actually do want change. And I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to deliver, considering that in order to change Cuba, they're going to have to basically take power away from the Castro family, the several of Raúl Castro's offsprings who are running many of the agencies and so on. So I think Díaz-Canel in many ways is in a no-win situation, because the only way he can change anything is to basically get into a fight with the Castro family still running most of the important agencies. So change? No. Is there a new president of Cuba? Yes. There's a new guy with a new business card, Presidente. Yes, there is. But beyond that, there wasn't any change. And I think the people of Cuba are entitled to participate in a real change. There ought to be a plebiscite in Cuba calling for an election that allows every Cuban, not just the ones in the assembly who are part of the Communist Party, but every Cuban, the dissidents, all of us should be able to participate in the future of Cuba. That did not happen with the election of Miguel Díaz-Canel. So Cuba Libre has not happened yet. Okay, Cuba Libre has not happened yet. Thank you for watching, folks. Have a wonderful day. We have all of these over at YouTube. We have them on my blog. and we have him on Twitter. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.